Hey there guys, it's Matt, or Shuckle, from Parable here, and I'm introducing, as you might have already guessed, the Parablecast Episode 3. Joining me this week is Nofi, or Michael.
Hey guys.
And taking Dan's place this week we have Octo, or Sunny, and I'm going to leave him introduce himself now.
Hi there, I'm Sunny, aka Octo, from Parable, and I am the editor and also video content producer. I am new to the podcast, as Matt said previously, and I'll just talk about myself for a bit, I guess, seeing as everyone else seems to do it. I really like video games, as you probably expected.
You don't really?
No, of course not.
None of us do. Yeah. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
For the bitches.
Anyway, yeah, I really like adventure games mostly. I'm generally a fan of most games, but I really enjoy games that are just really good hooks to them. Like, I really enjoy games with lots of immersion, lots of sort of experiential factors to them. Like, one of the most enthralling games I've played for probably the last 5 years is probably Amnesia, or the Stalker series. I'm a really big fan of the Stalker series. I'm also pretty big on fighting games, but I'm nowhere near as good as Greg is. Greg's our resident fighting game fan, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's his sort of role.
Yeah, I'm absolutely terrible at fighting games, but I just played them anyway.
Don't worry, it's not as bad as enjoying casual simulation games.
And visual novels, of course.
And visual novels.
Yeah, you're the casual of Parable.
It's true, it really is, it's true.
It's okay though, because he hates every game he plays. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you like is visual novels and train simulators.
I've actually clocked 13 hours on Train Simulator. I really enjoy it, I don't even know why.
I think it's quite impressive.
Wasn't there some zombie DLC?
Yeah, it's really
Something
cheap,
like
like 60p or something. It just turns all your passengers into zombies.
See, I could see myself playing that for a very, very long time.
It's a great game.
Should have got it in the summer
Especially
sale.
if you... Yeah, you should have, actually. Everything, all the DLC was on sale.
Did you buy it?
I bought the game itself, but I didn't get any of the DLC. Well, a lot of the DLC went on free, actually, in the summer sale, so I downloaded some of that, but...
Wow.
For free? Wow.
Yeah, they just have a bit of free DLC that goes on.
How can you get so much DLC with a train simulator? I still don't get it. I know there are quite a lot of trains in the world, but...
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, it's a huge game, and you can incorporate so many different types of, like, they're just rails, like any rail line you want.
Yeah, people don't understand how complex Train Simulator is.
They still haven't even done the that Japanese train that I can't even remember the name of now.
What Japanese train? What?
Shinkandesu, is it called, or something like that?
How do you know this?
The bullet train. The bullet train, anyway, the white
But
one.
how do you know about these trains? Are you
Why are you focusing on that train in particular?
Because that's the one train that I particularly want to download.
Are you a train aficionado? Is that what you're trying to tell us, sir?
No, I've browsed a few train forums in my time, but...
Oh my god.
It's just a train that I'd particularly like to drive.
Well, this has been a very eye-opening experience just there.
Let's move on from trains, actually.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Actually, no. One point, when I was a kid, I used to be into train spotting. I didn't know how to differentiate between any trains at all. I just like looking at trains. Moving on.
That's not train spotting, that's looking at trains.
Same thing.
It's like bird watching.
Yeah.
Alright, well, as with last week, we're going to move on to talk about the news as quickly as possible, before we just spend all the hour talking about trains.
I'd rather we just talked about trains.
Yeah, so would I, but we can't, because nobody else would rather it.
We'll have to probably get us shouting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody...
Oh yeah, this week, one thing that... Well, actually not this week, it was today, I think. The files for the source filmmaker have been looked into, and someone's found some evidence that Valve have been working on a second source engine, which is very interesting because it would explain the delays for Half-Life 3 very well.
That's certainly very interesting.
It makes sense. How old's the... the normal source was 2004, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the original source engine. Then, with the time Left 4 Dead 2 came out, they did a source 1.5 or something. I always thought that was the source 2 engine, but I guess...
I remember it was Left 4 Dead 2 that they bumped it up massively, then it was Portal 2 again.
Yeah.
They've been updating
probably just
constantly, so, it's hard to really differentiate.
I suppose if they're saying 2, they're probably building up from the ground again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean,
Really interesting.
I remember when they actually made the source engine in the first place, it pretty much just wasn't a really heavily altered version of the Half-Life 1 engine, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, did Half-Life 1 not use source?
They used I think it was called the Gold Source engine?
Gold SRC.
Yeah.
It was an edited version of the Quake 2 engine, I believe.
Yeah, because lots of Valve's early games were basically Quake mods, like TF2. Well, I don't know if TF2 was really a Valve game, but no, well, TF, I mean, as in TF Classic.
Yeah, yeah.
Started off as a Quake mod, I believe. Then someone made it into a Half-Life 1 mod.
Yeah, and like Half-Life Deathmatch Classic was a Quake mod as well.
See, this is stuff I never knew. I'm learning stuff all the time in these podcasts.
Oh, yeah, you're likely to learn a lot about Valve from me. I'm just like a basket of knowledge.
I've never actually, like, you know, I've always enjoyed his games. I've always enjoyed Valve games.
Dave, Valve is a person now. Can you please tell me about this?
Valve is my favourite video game.
No, I've always enjoyed Valve's titles, but they've never been a favourite game. Really.
Oh.
I don't know, I enjoyed the first Portal. I didn't enjoy the second one. I enjoyed Left 4 Dead 2, but it's never a favourite. Alien Swarm is my favourite Source Valve title.
This is an argument waiting to happen.
You absolutely love Alien Swarm.
Alien Swarm's great, I don't care.
It's a really fun game, but it just needs more like support by the community and stuff, because it never really took off, did it?
Yeah, no.
Which is a shame.
I expected downloadable content of like different scenarios to come out and stuff, but obviously there's like a whole load of user-created maps, but they're just effort and
yeah. I know. We could.
Go on. Sorry.
We could have go find some community maps on like FPS Banana or something. Is FPS Banana still a thing?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what FPS Banana is?
Oh.
You're not a real PC gamer.
Oh my god. I'm not even that into the PC scene, and I've still downloaded
so much. Just leave Parable now?
Yes, please do.
You should.
It's horrible that you call yourself a PC gamer and not know what FPS Banana is. I mean, seriously now.
I just stopped going on FPS Banana after they said, like, you get shitloads of Trojans just from going on there.
I think that was just at one point.
Yeah.
I'm actually Googling it now.
Still, be safe. Yeah, I just used to download loads and loads of mods from there, and really terrible sprays for TF2.
I downloaded an absolute massive pile of puzzle maps for Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, because I adore those things for some reason.
Oh, I never really got into Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. It was just the sort of thing I'd play when there was like nothing else to play. I never actually played it properly. I just played every single modded map I could that was just a co-op puzzle map. Because for some reason I just love physics puzzles. I'm a sucker for them. I think
we've diverged quite a bit, haven't we?
Yeah, just a bit.
Right, yeah, so that's essentially Source 2. It'll be interesting to see what they actually change about it.
Actually, before we move on, I just want to hear from both of you. What do you think about the status of Half-Life 3 at the moment? Because that'd be a big topic that's surrounding this, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it's used as an advertising thing, you know, build hype about a game, and then every sort of little addition to Half-Life that they make, anything that sort of hints at it, will just build up more hype for the company.
Yeah, definitely.
And it'll, regardless of whether it comes out or not, the hype in itself is going to make it sell more Valve games.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, actually no, I'm not going to talk about Half-Life 3, because I'll end up taking up the entire episode.
Yeah. I think there's been enough speculation in the past 8 million years about Half-Life 3 that nobody even cares anymore. Well, they shouldn't, at least. If anybody's still excited, they're kidding themselves.
No, I'm not kidding myself. I'm okay, fine. I'm kidding myself.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Enough about Valve.
Okay.
I just want to say about Half-Life 3, there's like, I'm really looking forward to Half-Life 3, and I really want it to like come out and stuff so we can all like play it and stuff. But I really don't think it's going to live up to the hype after the 7 years of waiting.
Oh no, definitely not. Nothing ever could.
Yeah, but at the worst, I hope it does. I hope people will actually like it, and it won't actually turn into sort of a Duke Nukem Forever or a Beach Boys Smile situation.
Yeah. I'm assuming that was a musical reference, was it?
Yeah, I can go on and on about these. No. I could say Ultramon reference or a
Storm
Potion reference.
Quickly, change before he won't stop. Help us.
Right, okay, Gears of War, right? This is another piece of news that I'm going to quickly talk about here. And it's that Epic is not ruling out a Gears of War FPS. And it's not really news as such. He just said that he's not saying that there'll never be one. So I doubt that's hinting at there will be one, but he's just keeping the doors open. But regardless, I thought it was interesting because Gears of War never struck me as an FPS.
I probably did release it as an FPS because that was the only the whole third-person thing. That was the only really thing that separated it from the rest of the shooters on the market at the time. When it was
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
It popularised the cover-based shooter, so... I mean, I can't think of a single cover-based shooter that's first-person other than Killzone 2 and 3, maybe? But...
I can't see it working at all, because Gears of War has always been about being third-person.
And
it was
that way
actually like a really awful spin-off game as well, yes.
I just don't think the appeal's there when you can't see your own buffed-up Space Marine shooting people. It's not the same. It really isn't.
He does love his
and that's just in. Yeah. I think Octo and myself were getting something else out of the game rather than buffed up sweaty men. But there we are.
Oh well, you know, each their own. Each to their own.
Jokes. Anyway, yeah, moving on. BlazBlue, new BlazBlue game. Arc Systems, I think it was them, recently announced that BlazBlue hit over 1.7 million units over the whole franchise sold worldwide, and that's a pretty good achievement for a fighting game.
Yeah.
Then, new game announced called Chrono Phantasma.
I love the names they choose. They always get the best ones. Deadly Sin, Poison Lust, etc.
Yeah, Poison Lust.
I don't know, something like that, wasn't it? The music titles, they were awful.
Oh yeah.
They were always awful.
Lust Sin, that's the one.
Lust Sin. Oh, there must be enough all night on that one.
But yeah, new. I really liked the last BlazBlue game. I'm not too knowledgeable on BlazBlue because I know Greg is really, really big on it and he's really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Basically wet himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That was his reaction. He just sort of squealed and wet himself.
I really like the new character skins on a few of them. Like Noelle, even though she looks a bit like a slut now, it looks really cool.
That's a bit steep. I like Tsubaki's new skin. Everyone says, it's grimdark, but, it works.
Sorry, which one was Tsubaki?
Tsubaki's the person with the white clothes and the long red hair, and she's got, like, an eye on her.
And the eye? Yeah, I was hoping before this that they'd get rid of his stupid hat.
Really? I like the hat.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know, it looks silly and it takes away from her character.
But it's like, it fits in with the story. You have to, play the story to understand it. And
yeah. But, I don't know, it's just, as a character design, I don't think a hat fits it very well.
Yeah, I'm guessing, Chrono Phantasma follows on from Continuum Shift 2, which was the PSP game, if I remember correctly. And the game is apparently coming to PS Vita, PSP, and... Wait, hold on a second. 3DS?
Wait,
what?
No, Calamity Trigger. Calamity Trigger, the first place of the game, that's being ported to 3DS, apparently, and PS Vita.
Okay, then.
I think I remember that actually having come out already, in Japan at least.
Yeah, I imagine so.
It's a crap console for it. I'll be honest there. It's got a horrible screen. I may own one, but it's still got a horrible screen.
Yeah, the biggest buyer's remorse was me buying 3DS, to be honest.
I got drawn into the hype about 2 weeks afterwards. As soon as the prices started going down, I just thought to myself, oh look, it's...
Oh, I bought mine right before the prices went down, like some knobber. And all I do now is I play the bloody free classic titles I got.
So you got a free copy of Excite Bike?
Yeah, I did get a free copy of Excite Bike. 3D Excite Bike, that's great. Hours spent on that game.
The absolute brilliant perks that they'll give a person to buy a console early.
But yeah, I'm really excited for the new BlazBlue game. Because I've never actually owned a BlazBlue game, but I've always absolutely loved them. Because I spent many an hour over at Sunny's house playing them after school, etc.
Yeah, fun times.
Very fun times indeed.
I've never really...
Backy.
I really want to buy one. Yeah.
Well, you should get a copy on the 360 when it comes out. Actually, I think Calamity Trigger was ported to the PC at some point, wasn't it? I'm not sure. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think there was a PC port of one of the BlazBlue games. I think they'd probably open up a new market for BlazBlue if they ported the new game to PC.
How much of a market is there for PC fighting games, though? I've never actually looked into that before.
Well, people always assume that, PC gaming is keyboard and mouse, but that really isn't the case anymore.
Oh yeah, you've got all sorts of ways to just kind of... I mean, there must be about 20 odd really popular programs just to put in a DualShock 3 or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's easy enough to plug a controller in, and whereas I think FPSs lend themselves particularly well to a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
But any JRPG I normally play with a controller.
Oh.
And most platformers I play with a controller, to be honest.
Yeah, because I play some of my Steam games with my DualShock 6-axis controller, and I assume you can just play it like, I don't know, a fighting pad or something in, like an arcade pad.
Yeah. If they were to port it, they could easily sell like specific controllers to go along with it and make more money from that. Because I think BlazBlue has such a fan base, because obviously it has, the style of it all that's going to appeal to certain horrible weeboos like myself.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to have like a big fan base in, like the NEET community that don't want to stray outside their computer.
So me, basically.
Yeah.
I have an Xbox on the other side of my room, but fuck buying it on Xbox, it's too far away.
So on the subject of BlazBlue, or BlazeBlue, how do you pronounce it? I
say BlazeBlue.
BlazeBlue, yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to turn a few heads here, especially Greg, because he's a big BlazeBlue fan, or whatever you want to call it, and he'll probably give me a bit of stick for not knowing what the actual pronunciation is.
We should change the podcast title to how to pronounce different shit in the gaming world at the moment. We had a good 10-minute discussion on the ooh yeah, or whatever the fuck we decided.
How do you pronounce Deus Ex?
Gay sex.
Oh, that's typical. Come on.
Sorry. I'll leave.
Oh, it's already stupid as low as this.
Moving on now, because that's it for the news, basically.
Actually, one thing before we jump off the hot fighting game train. Persona 4 Arena, that comes out this week, so, mark your calendars.
That's going to be, it's interesting, actually. I know I was the one just eagering us to move on. Eagering? That's not weird. But anyway, I was the one just trying to push us on, but I want to talk about this a little bit. Because as a filthy weeboo, I find it really interesting to see all of these games becoming more popular over here. Because even as short as 2 or 3 years ago, these games were almost unheard of. I mean, I know Persona 4 came out on the PS2.
Yeah.
But it didn't sell particularly well, it was never a large title, and now all of these anime-esque games are coming over here, and it's quite interesting to see.
I wouldn't really say they're anime-esque, I'd just say that's really like given art style and stuff. Like you've got like, if you compare like JRPGs and Western RPGs, I guess like anime style. I don't mean to generalize, but anime style. I guess that's maybe the given sort of art style you'd have. Like Final Fantasy games. Yeah, I'm just generalizing that art style.
No, it's fine. It doesn't really. I see what you mean though. Like all JRPGs have been quite anime-esque.
All the recent ones, anyway. I guess they got a cater to a market.
Yeah, but even on like Steam, you're getting visual novels and things cropping up left, right, and centre. And it seemed to be almost like directly following the Resettia sort of.
Yeah, that's kind of funny actually.
Sold skillions, didn't it?
Yeah, Resettia was a fantastic game.
Great game.
I only played the demo for it, and I absolutely loved it. I'm not sure why I haven't bought it yet.
I don't know how many hours I spent on that game. I think I'm on about 20 at the moment.
I'm absolutely terrible at it, but I still love it. It's a really charming little game.
Yeah, I've actually started to learn how to be good at it very slowly.
Only now you're learning how to be
atmosphere.
good at it.
Yeah, but no, it's like, because there's so much to it that you don't really realise at first. Or at least that was the case with me. And in fact, that's my first playthrough. I barely did any adventuring. Just spent all day in my shop buying and selling shit.
It's not one of those games you expect to be layered and layered in complexity.
But it is. It really is.
Oh yeah, you got if I remember correctly, you picked up Chantilly's in the Steam sale as well, didn't you?
Chantilly's. Yeah, I picked up both the other two games by those guys.
What's the other one?
I don't know. I can't even remember, but I haven't played it yet.
Well, how's Chantilly's in any case compared to Resettia's?
Very hard. It's very different. Like, it's just a dungeon crawl. It's very hard. Slightly, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not particularly in depth. It's nowhere near as good as Resettia, but it is a very different game. And as far as I'm aware, they made it before they made Resettia, and then they just brought it out after.
That's the interesting thing that I was about to say, because everyone always slams Chantilly's because it's nowhere near as good as Resettia, even though it was supposedly the second game in the series, but they localized it for an English release after the success of Resettia over in the West, and I always thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. you can definitely sort of see that it's more basic of a game. There's not much of a mechanic to it. It is very simple, something you might expect to see on the N64 or something.
Oh.
I
Actually,
think
no,
it's a very
what?
good.
You can't get defensive just because I said that the N64 was less powerful than perhaps a modern day PC.
no, that'd be a completely fair point, but yeah.
The podcast bringing Nofi's fandom back.
I think it's a
you
very
just-
good case of like a game's mechanics being expanded upon and made sort of like the whole dungeon crawling thing being made sort of like a side thing in Resetia to complement a more larger mechanic.
Yeah. You know, we've gone from BlazBlue to Resetia.
I'm not complaining.
What a lovely tangent. That's great. We just surfed completely into a different genre.
Dan's going to shout at us once this gets out.
Yeah.
Nobody tell him.
I hope he'll be fine. He likes Rosetta. He'll be absolutely fine with us talking about it. I'm sure.
Anyway, moving on to some of sort of the larger discussion topics, which have slightly blended in with the news, considering how many tangents we just went on. But and it's almost trending as well, because I know that 1.3 came out, or 1.3.1, and if you haven't guessed already, it's Minecraft that we're going to be talking about.
Oof.
Which I'm sure 90% of you are cringing at now, because I know all three of us are. Because as far as I'm aware, we all got Minecraft when it, back in the day, when it was in dev. Yeah, the times you little whippersnappers wouldn't remember.
The days
And
it's called Alpha.
Alpha, get a load of this casual up there.
We don't-
Anyway,
we'll play it.
but I think just talking generally about Minecraft is fairly interesting to see where it's gone from. Because it seems to be that the diehard fans back in the olden times have now become the ones who cringe at even hearing the name. 'Cause I think it's lost so much of its charm with everything that they're sort of trying to implement.
Yeah. I mean, it just used to be build things. It used to be build things, go look for things, go mine for resources so you can build more things. And now it's turned into some sort of strange simulator where you go into some sort of netherworld, you go into this dark place, you fight a dragon. It's just... What the hell
I enjoyed the
happened?
Nether quite a lot, but
I did enjoy the Nether.
Mm.
Minecraft lost it for me when it was on its way out, but then the villagers.
Oh my...
yeah.
I don't know why anybody thought that was a good idea. I know you can turn them off in the options, but that's besides the point.
Minecraft had like a really serene sense of like seclusion and stuff, because that's what people play video games for like escapism, and like being alone in like a really huge like landscape with like all these mountains, all these trees, you can build whatever you want, you gather your own resources, you're like self-sufficient. It was like really cool, and if you felt lonely you could just go online and like play it with your friends. It was fantastic. But like adding the villages and stuff, that wasn't like a really good decision.
No, I don't think it added anything to it.
For the first time, maybe it was interesting, like seeing like a village on landscape, and you're like, "What's that?" And you go there and you see like a bunch of people looking like Squidward, but
Squidward.
I never got why they made it look like that. What the hell were they thinking?
They could have easily just made it look like how you look like in the game, the original player model.
But I think part of the charm with Minecraft was also lost with what was put in. But I think I don't know, when I first started playing the game, there was very little like evidence of it across the internet and things.
Yeah.
And so you were really left to discover everything yourself. And now it has such a huge fan base that sort of the whole discovering and adventure thing is almost lost before it begins.
Yeah. Like everyone's aware of it these days, even people who haven't played it.
Yeah. And I can remember like when I first came across Redstone, I had no idea what it was, because Minecraft just wasn't really talked about on the internet. And I just came across this Redstone, and I was like, yeah.
Friday
I mind
updates,
it was an
Friday updates.
Friday
And-
highlight of my life.
And implementing ladders into the game.
Ladders
The
were the
best.
greatest update that game ever had.
Oh.
I can remember Friday, as soon as the update came out, I'd sort of scurry on to desperately try to find out what they put in. I used to just sit there at the crafting table trying different things.
Oh god, I can remember the first lighthouse I made. I just remember like sitting there thinking to myself, do I use lava or torches? It was just a case.
Just picture this woolen white lighthouse and then lava or torches? Lava or lava? Oh no!
That's the thing, though. I never actually made like huge like structures in Minecraft. I don't know. There was something cozy to me about like making really small little houses on like mountain stuff. I always built my stuff on the mountains, and like my first creation was like a little dirt house that was like on the edge of a cliff or something, just hanging off the edge. And now I turned it into like a huge like mini village made out of wood, suspended from the top of this like dark cliff, and there are loads of like mobs underneath it, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah, there's definitely a like my main crib in Minecraft where I always chill and hang out and play my video.
Yeah.
It's very small and quaint, and I don't actually spend any time in my larger scale builds.
Ugh, that. Why would you roleplay in Minecraft? Come on now.
Do people roleplay in Minecraft?
Oh god, you'd be surprised. It's horrible.
Oh god.
There are some people who
like role-playing engines, like sort of RPG things, or role-playing as in role-playing.
No, they'll literally just like pretend that they're playing a certain role. They just like give themselves a name. They'll walk around and go, "Oh, look, I'm doing this. I'm the builder."
That's weird.
Oh, that's
yeah. I came across this one server and just I walked into this guy and he just looked at me and was like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm just like, "I'm here to play Minecraft."
No, you're not. You're here to do manual labor and not have any fun.
I guess I can see why people do that, because there's something very juvenile isn't really the right word, but there's a sense of that, like the sort of childishness of like
imagination.
Imagination,
Yeah.
role playing. It's like Lego blocks.
I can see the fun in that, but I think it sort of assigns it. You don't need to go ahead and say, right, you're the person who builds, I'm the person who gathers blocks.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And I think people are always trying to implement too much into it, and they took away, like, obviously, Minecraft has evolved to be what the fans want it to be. I think it's definitely expanded in the right direction as far as financially is concerned, because obviously a hell of a lot more people play it now than they did back in the day.
Yeah.
But they're appealing to a different sort of fan, and it's definitely the wider audience than what it used to appeal to.
I think what's turned me away from it is the addition of all like the little, like back when I was mostly playing it, the most detailed things you could do are like redstone switches and stuff like that. I can't. Yeah, and like TNT and stuff. You could make like, I don't know, traps and stuff, or like I think you could. Yeah, I was around the time where you could make like redstone powered doors and stuff, and stepping stones and all that. But yeah, having all this like other stuff, like I think it was tripwires they added in later stuff.
Yeah, tripwires in 1.3.
Yeah, they've added all these like really, really meticulous like tools. It reminds me sort of like the wire mod thing in Gary's mod, if you guys ever use that. And I don't know, surely when you have like as little to work with as possible, it can make making like really cool shit in Minecraft like much more rewarding.
A good point.
Like you've got like like when you got these buildings and stuff now, like making a sort of a jagged, very cubist, very just of like a statue or something, and it looks very like cubey and cubist. But you've got like all these like other sub blocks, like the stepping stone blocks and like the curved block. Well, not the curved blocks, like the stair blocks, and it just it's strange.
It's definitely taken away from something I used to enjoy a lot about the game, and like even things like the delays in the redstone circuiting. I remember back in the you'd spend ages sort of trying to figure out the best way to actually slow down your pulse and create all the different NAND and NOT gates and things. 'Cause I used to be quite into redstone.
Yeah.
But I used to like sort of trying to work your way around what the game didn't already give you.
Mm.
Stuff like logic gates. I remember trying to figure out what the hell you did to actually make a proper logic gate.
Yeah, I learned a lot about physics from Minecraft. Or engineering, I suppose it would fall under.
Yeah, and then you went on to build a huge suspension bridge and become a fucking engineer.
Surveyor, and it's all thanks to Notch, that glorious, glorious man.
Yeah. Those years, Fedora.
What was the biggest thing that you two made in Minecraft?
I made a life-size model of Salisbury Cathedral. Come at me, brothers.
That's way more ambitious than anything I did. The
Well-
hardest thing I did was... Whenever I came back from, like, a mining adventure or something, like, and I had, like, loads and loads of cobblestone that I didn't really need to use, I just went out into this random field in the middle of the world, and I never like went there more than like a month or so. And I went there like once a month or so after went for like a big mining thing, and I used all my cobblestone to make some really, really huge, boring stone tower, and I never finished it, and it was just, it was insane.
There's a picture of this pile of stone, and you're just sitting back, yep, good day's work.
I can still remember the biggest thing that I made, and it wasn't just me, because it was me and a few people that used to play regularly. We made a big map, and then we had no idea how to navigate it, so we made a huge underground subway system that basically led you from one landmark to the other, and we made it perfectly, and it all fit together, and it's just a case of once it was done, we just looked at each other and thought to ourselves, what the hell have we done?
It's always like that when you finish, isn't it? You feel like you've just reached the end of your life because now you don't have to do anything again ever.
It's like, I would never do anything more. There's no bigger accomplishment for me. There's no point.
Mm. Alright, I think moving on from Minecraft. This is something that's probably going to interest Octo a hell of a lot more than anybody else. But it's sort of the Stalker universe in general, because nobody's quite known what's going on with it for a while. It's been here, there, and everywhere. And I'm actually going to let Octo take over here, because he knows a hell of a lot more about it than me.
Right, well basically, since GSC supposedly shut down and Stalker 2 was, off development, it's been like picked up by several different game studios. Well, not picked up. It's reminding me of, if I might reference Duke Nukem Forever again, it's reminded me a lot like that. Because it's been like on and off development by like several different little projects for a while now, and it's been sort of like stuck in limbo, and I'm worried if it's like ever going to be released. But then now Bethesda have apparently bought the rights to Stalker 2, and that kind of worries me because I'm not the biggest fan of Bethesda's games in terms of like stability.
It's I believe it's only a rumor that's been picked up by Bethesda, but yeah, it was some Ukrainian blog it was posted on.
Yeah.
Fairly certain it was Ukrainian in any case. And, yeah, he seems to be somewhat reliability because a lot of people are taking it very seriously.
It's one I definitely hope isn't true.
I'm here and there about the idea. Because I like Stalker I like the atmosphere in Stalker, I like the setting in Stalker, I like how it was always sort of make-do, and such as life in the zone, etc. But there was always just something about the game that made it not flow particularly well for me. And I'm not sure what it is, and I just couldn't fully get into the game.
But you got into Skyrim very well, and that was a Bethesda game.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I mean Stalker. Yeah, I couldn't get into Stalker. And then Bethesda games I always find a lot easier to get into. Like, a lot of their stuff doesn't particularly work. And Skyrim was missing a lot of what it should have had. It didn't have much of an atmosphere.
I think
that's the thing, though. Stalker had more of an audience because it was more of a niche because it was much harder to get into. I mean, it was developed by a very small Ukrainian. Was it a Ukrainian company? Yeah,
I believe it was Ukrainian. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was much less accessible than a game like Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout 3. And
yeah,
actually, Bethesda have been picking up a lot of. Well, a lot isn't really.
They picked up one that was incredibly huge, and they made massive success out of it.
Yeah, and the Fallout as well. Well, Elder Scrolls and Fallout, those are the only ones I really know. But, yeah, I'm worried, they're gonna... I mean, it probably won't happen, but Stalker 2 with, like, a Skyrim engine or something, that's not really something I want to look forward to.
I think they would, there would definitely be certain things changed about it, because Skyrim was always very jumpy and floaty. And I think were they to, do what they wanted with Stalker, I think they would still sort of try to keep it true to the very sodden, very hard footsteps.
Yeah, definitely. The way they've been working on Stalker 2 for so long, I doubt they would have changed the engine at this point.
Yeah. A good thing about, the reason why I was sort of somewhat pleased by the news is because, whereas even if you don't like Bethesda, you still can't really argue that they bring out a decent game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
It might not live up to the grandness of the first Stalker games, but it's a Stalker sequel, and that's something that I had almost given up hope for. It's because it's moved around so much, and Bethesda is a fairly secure company who's not likely to, if they have actually picked it up, they're not likely to sort of stop or give it away.
Yeah.
And so it gave me some hope in that respect.
Well, I'll still love to see what they do with it, though, because, I mean, the job they did with Fallout 3 was brilliant, considering what they were working off of.
Yeah.
I mean, now they've got a kind of like a similar game that could work with an engine they've got, because the game it's actually going to be a sequel to is going to be similar in a sense to what they usually make.
Yeah. I didn't like the thingamajiggy.
Thingamajiggy? Yeah,
Thingamajiggy. Fallout New Vegas. I didn't like Fallout New Vegas.
Oh,
Fallout New Vegas was
and I
more
loved
an expansion pack.
Yeah, I loved Fallout 3, but I just couldn't get into Vegas at all. I think it was just like the boring landscape.
I mean, with New Vegas, it was more of like a political story. I mean, Fallout 3 was a case of, look, you're in this wasteland. Go on, do stuff. Go kill someone.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
I mean,
I felt there was a lot less.
And it's,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's there's definitely something missing from it from Fallout 3. I mean, I've got both. I've played through both Fallout 3 and New Vegas like multiple times before, and New Vegas, well, it's more visually appealing because it's not as, you know, you could definitely see that with the color palettes. Like, there's much more bright like oranges and reds in the palette of Fallout New Vegas as opposed to like the very dingy greens and blacks of Fallout 3. But
yeah. But I always felt like Fallout 3, at least it had an aesthetic.
Yeah, definitely.
When I was playing Vegas, I just didn't feel like there was any sort of stylization, any mood to it. I just felt like I was a guy trying to get from one side of the map to the other with no fun allowed.
Yeah.
New Vegas seemed to kind of like have an art style halfway through as soon as you got to New Vegas, and that was about it.
Yeah. In any case, going back to Stalker, what I guess I agree on is, well, what Bethesda games and the Stalker games have in common is the big modding community, like the X-Ray engine and the... What is the Bethesda engine called? I call it the Skyrim engine and the Bethesda engine, but what's it actually called?
No idea.
The Skyrim engine? I think it's called
they used to
Creation Engine? I'm not sure.
Like
I think it is called
Googling it now.
It is the Creation Engine, I'm pretty sure.
Keep talking.
Well, in any case, both of them have like very, very big modding communities, Stalker especially. I've downloaded hundreds and hundreds of mods for Call of Pripyat and Shadow of Chernobyl over the years, and they really do improve the experience depending on whichever you play, because they're all so unique and provide different gameplay experiences, and it really shows how dedicated the community for Stalker is, and as well as Bethesda, though I think, well, Bethesda's much less niche.
Yeah, Stalker's community was definitely something that made it such an enjoyable game.
Mm-hmm. Like you,
because
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Well, what I really liked in participating in the Stalker community was like being like an active participant in it, like going on like forums and message boards and stuff, and you'd like go into like a Stalker thread or something, and you would like revel in like people telling like stories of what happened in the zone, like, oh, I took down 10 bloodsuckers while I had no ammo, I took them down with my knife and stuff, and I had low health and I was bleeding and I was saving a dying child, etc.
Yeah, it's like you took on that character even in the threads and things, and it just worked so well because it was just fun. There was never anybody in any thread who was there for anything but enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and you were like sitting, it's like you're sitting around a campfire and like telling your fellow stalkers about your adventures in the zone.
Yeah, I definitely got the impression from it.
It's fantastic. It's one that I miss. I haven't, participated in like a Stalker forum or a thread for a while now.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where it goes and how it develops, because I don't know, because I don't want it to be the same as Fallout 3 and Skyrim, where it's very quick to get about.
Mm. Well,
the thing with Stalker is that it was hard to get anywhere, and yeah, I found like Skyrim, it had like areas that were low level and everything, like most games, and then Stalker just seemed to be everywhere is really, really hard.
Yeah, it's much more realistic that way. Anyway, on like a more related note, in relation to both DayZ that you guys were talking about in previous episodes of the podcast, and currently Stalker, Silverium, that new game that some of the Stalker devs are working on after the shutdown of GSC, they took on the new, I wrote an article on it a few weeks back, they took on the new name of Vostok Games, or something like that, and they're working on a MMO, which is basically not, I don't think it's in the same universe as Stalker, but it's pretty much the same game, it's just Stalker but an MMO. And that's kind of... I'm not sure what to think about it.
It depends. This is something that I can see depending entirely on the community.
Yeah.
Because like we were just saying about, the community on the forums, etc., I can see an MMO would be would unite that, but at the same time I can see it would take a lot away from it, because MMOs are always very grindy. You know, you start off in your low level area, you move to your higher level area, and so on.
That's the thing, though. I don't think, considering it's a sort game, I don't think they can implement some sort of leveling system into it. I don't think they're going to implement, like, grinding. I think it's going to be very much like DayZ even. Whatever.
Daisy. Always Daisy.
DayZ.
Daisy.
Organization. DayZ.
God.
Oh god, we're getting into Space Odyssey references.
I'm okay with that. Anyway, yeah, Severium, how do you
Back
guys...
on topic.
Yeah, go on.
How do you guys feel about that, having a Stalker massive multiplayer online game?
I'd probably love it. I mean, I haven't actually played that much Stalker at all, but an MMO would get me right into it. It seems like a perfect match if you just get rid of the RPG.
Yeah, if it's... I don't know, I used to play a hell of a lot of MMOs, namely Ion and World of Warcraft, shock horror. But, I don't know, they sort of lost something on me over time. But I always enjoyed the general feel of the MMO. I just don't feel that the ones I played were particularly enjoyable, so I would like a decent MMO that I can really get into, but I've yet to actually find one. And it's given me a very bad opinion of MMOs, because I'm sure it is possible to have a good one, but I've yet to come across one for some, whether it be the community, whether it be the game in itself or something. There's always been something stopping me from falling in love with another MMO.
Fair enough.
I mean, for me, MMO-wise, this is probably going to be a bad revelation, but for about 3 years, when I was very, very young and naive, I played a lot... Yeah.
It's always the case.
Everybody agrees that RuneScape is the greatest title to have ever blessed this earth.
Actually, I never played that with RuneScape. I didn't really have an internet connection when I was a kid, and I didn't have like that much access to the internet. So I played RuneScape like once, and because I was like level 1 or something, I didn't really know anything about MMORPGs. I was like, oh, this is terrible. Why can't I kill them?
You missed out on life.
Yeah, I did.
Actually, that's the new parable thing. We're going to replace the podcast with a Let's Play of RuneScape. It'll be great.
Yeah, we're going to have reaction cams, meme references.
You could have an episode where I just talk about everything that I've done in RuneScape, because my stories are usually absolutely shite, but my RuneScape
They're
ones...
always
No, my
shite.
RuneScape ones are...
No. Do you not remember the last episode?
I remember the last episode, but I don't remember telling you a RuneScape...
If this episode doesn't get any views, it's because of your story last episode.
Well, you can't blame me. You have to blame...
No, we are blaming you.
I'm not blaming you.
Blame him.
What? No. It's getting a bit hostile in here.
Did you listen to the argument, or is there a story?
Can we just move on?
A wardrobe felony. That's not a story, right? Anyway, moving on. That was the worst story I've ever heard.
It was great. It was brilliant. You're just jealous. That's what it is. Okay, let's move on then, shall we?
On a slightly brighter note, I feel Nofi's not really had much to talk about so far, so we'll let him and his fanboyism run off on this next topic, which is something that I'm sure everybody's talked about to some degree, and it's the Wii U.
Yeah, recently there was some stuff about Mass Effect 3 FIFA. I mean, EA did a summer showcase where they just showed off loads of stuff, and that included their Wii U stuff, so we've finally seen some more stuff with the Wii U, including Mass Effect 3, which... Well, it's brought to light the topic of the Wii U again, because people are seeing things that have, been heralded as something good about the console, like you can stream what should be on the TV on your gamepad. I think the first footage of that actually came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, oh, look it up. It's the Mass Effect 3 stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
God, they couldn't have picked a worse game to port to Wii U, though.
Oh, it's horrible. I don't see the point of doing it. It's a case of, let's get this game that's,
notoriously hated by everyone, and put it on this console that's notoriously hated by everyone, and hey presto.
Yeah. I think the Wii really needs like some AAA titles though by like big developers and stuff, because it's really lacking at the moment.
Nintendo makes games. That's good enough for me. I mean,
yeah, that's what they should focus on, because that's all Nintendo's ever really offered us, was just great titles at what they were good at.
Nothing on the Wii U's really wowed people yet.
Yeah, you've got a point.
Like, Nintendo Land certainly didn't wow me.
Oh, don't start me off with Nintendo Land. That was awful.
But, you know, if we take the GameCube as a solid example, because this is when my fanboyism died, and I think the GameCube had so many good Nintendo titles on it, that it like Wind Waker, you know, we had a flawed thing on that, because it's great, it's fantastic.
And Metroid Prime, we had a flawed thing on that.
Yeah, Metroid Prime, that's a fantastic game. I don't think we mentioned it before, but Resident Evil 4, I know it's out everywhere now, but...
Love it.
And Wii Edition, check it out.
Yeah, Wii Edition. But why wasn't that on Flawed? That should have been on Flawed, but let's not talk about that now.
Yeah, Flawed's over now. Go check out the episodes on parable.games.net.
Plug.
Shamelessly.
How do we plug our own website? People know what's going on here. Come on.
We have a huge Parable logo on the YouTube at the moment, and we're trying to plug it. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think anybody's really looking forward to the Wii U.
I am. That's one of many, but still, I am.
Really?
I like Nintendo consoles. I like the promise of...
So do I. But...
I can't justify...
What have they given us that's good recently?
When you say given us, and when you say recently, can you narrow that down so I can actually say...
When was the last good title that was Nintendo?
Skyward Sword? That was like a year ago.
That was November 18th, 2011. Yes, I remember the date.
Okay, other than Skyward Sword?
Xenoblade Chronicles?
No. Right,
I'm actually playing that right now. It's very, very good.
Yeah, but they've lost a lot from the good old days of the GameCube.
Honestly,
it's not just the GameCube. The Wii was great. I don't know how you can not say it was great.
The Wii had a few great titles, but like even Twilight Princess, which was my favourite Wii title, it wasn't a Wii title.
Wait, Twilight Princess is your favourite Wii title?
I really enjoyed Twilight Princess.
Have you played Skyward Sword?
No, I haven't.
Play it.
I'm sure it'd be great, but you know, it's not worth. It doesn't warrant having a Wii for that one good title.
My favourite Wii title is probably, well, to be expected, but Smash Bros. Brawl. I just absolutely adored that game. I know everyone like says, you know, it's like Melee was far better, and I actually agree, but like the anticipation for Smash Bros. Brawl going there on launch day and like running up. I was actually the first person in the queue to actually get a copy of Smash Bros. Brawl on release day.
I imported it. I didn't care.
Same.
I just imported. I remember people were importing the Japanese version, and at that time I was just like, yeah, I don't need the Japanese version. I'll wait for the US one.
Yeah, I imported the US version.
Oh.
I mean, I played...
Sorry to steal that order from you, Octo.
I played about, I don't know, like 200 hours by the time it came out over here.
Oh yeah, I played so much of the game, but I still think I preferred... I don't know, as a game, I think I preferred Brawl, because I got more out of it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, for like the anticipation, waiting for Brawl to come out here, I spent all day on like the Smash Bros. Dojo and stuff, looking up all the stuff and everything about the game and the secrets, and after I unlocked everything in the game, I just thought everything's been spoiled for me. Whereas Melee, I didn't really have that because
I can still remember. Go on.
Go on.
I can still remember the day that Sonic got announced on the blog, and just every forum exploded with people screaming about it. My God.
That was a sad day. I hate Sonic. I hate Sonic. I don't care what you say, Nofi. I hate him.
Yeah, but when it was announced...
He's a cocky piece of shit.
Yeah, when it was announced, though, you must have just thought to yourself, fuck, you know, it's Sonic in a Mario game. It's Nintendo.
No, I thought, Christ, this is Nintendo's darkest day.
And
then bloody Winter Olympics came out, and I knew I was right at that point. I took my Wii and I shat inside it and traded it in.
Yeah. How did you
it's
get?
No joke, you did.
I'm trying to think of how you managed to do that, just logistically. But I think
it's not worth thinking too much.
Yeah,
about.
let's not dwell on it too much, because I doubt people listening actually want to hear that. Unless you do, in which case, if you do want to hear how we did it, just leave a comment. We'll talk about it next episode. Okay, cool. Okay, but yeah, in terms of Nintendo and just like how they performed during their Wii years, what do you guys think overall?
Hit and miss.
Well, I've already said. I mean, they had a few titles which were were up to the standard that I'd come to expect over the years, but there wasn't a single Mario game that I enjoyed that came out on the Wii.
Oh.
I hated Mario Galaxy. finished it in like what must have been 4 or 5 hours.
Oh,
I really enjoyed
and
the
I had
Galaxy, actually. I didn't play the second one, but I thought that was... Because the thing is, I never played Super Mario 64 because I never really was much of a Nintendo kid when I was young.
what? I'm sorry, what? That's...
I never played Super Mario 64. I never played Ocarina of
have you played
Time.
it yet?
Yeah, I've played them now.
Okay.
Wait, did you say you...
I had...
Oh my god. Okay, keep going. I'm gonna stop.
As you can see, Nofia's a Nintendo fanboy, if you hadn't noticed.
Just a bit.
Yeah. But when I was a kid, I never played the Nintendo games. I was a big Sony fanboy because, I was given a PlayStation and I really liked it. So I never really, played these games. I don't really know much about them. But I played them later and I really enjoyed them. Wind Waker is one of my favorite games now. But anyway, what are we talking about?
Something.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't know, are we still talking about Resetio, or it's just one large divergence?
I thought we were still talking about my door falling off my wardrobe, but,
We don't need to reference that. That was our darkest moment.
So far, we've got a long history ahead of us. We can have worse things to replace that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Still,
I think... Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Well, I guess come back to small football for just a second before we move on. Yeah. I know loads of people were excited for Sonic, but I wasn't really much of a Sonic fan either. I didn't have a Mega Drive or a Sega Genesis or anything.
No.
But I really liked the Metal Gear Solid series, so I freaked out when I found out that Snake was going to be in Brawl.
I loved the Metal Gear Solid series, but I wasn't that excited when he found out he was in it, just because he wasn't... I never felt he particularly fitted it, and I still don't feel like he fitted it.
I love the reveal trailer, though. I mean, jumps out, so showtime!
It was... Oh god, right. No, it was... I really liked Brawl, but the actual physics, I suppose you'd call it, of Melee... Yeah, it was Brawl was far too floaty, and that put me off a lot. But the storyline in it was quite enjoyable, and I always looked forward to the reveal trailers and stuff, because they were always quite humorous.
I just eat up anything that's a crossover. I love crossovers so much, and I'm pretty sure everyone loves them. But
I love crossovers.
So good.
But no, I don't think that we. I'll tell you what. Actually, it was almost a betrayal. Like they stabbed me right in the heart. Is when fucking Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City came out.
Here we go.
As my favourite franchise, I don't even care. This is now an Animal Crossing podcast.
Here we go.
They ruined everything about it. Absolutely everything. It's like, the appeal of Animal Crossing is you're in a quaint village, and then they throw this huge city in your face and wipe their arse all over you.
It wasn't even a huge city, it was just like a city plaza.
Yeah, but it was big enough, even had the shady back alley. At 14 or however old I was, I didn't want to. I ended up spending all day in the dark alley, and it was a dark time in my life.
Oh god! And like the Wii Speak thing that came with it. Did anyone actually use the Wii Speak thing?
I bought it.
Oh,
I bought the Wii Speak.
Oh,
I didn't use it. Never used it. Or I tried to, but it didn't work.
Two of my friends bought the Wii Speak and they used it like once, and they had apparently the most awkward conversation ever. They just they were on Animal Crossing, they joined each other's towns or whatever, and they just turned on Wii Speak and they were like, "All right, yep, Wii Speak, eh? Yeah, it's good, isn't it?"
It's very much like that, just because the quality's so bad you can't say more than a few words.
And you'd be like so far away from from the actual mic.
Yeah.
I think with Animal Crossing though, just it doesn't seem suited to consoles. It's a port. It's like Pokemon. It's something that should be staying on a portable console, nothing else.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Wild Will was absolutely phenomenal.
It was soul consuming.
Yeah,
God, my life was great. They were the times.
In my routine before I went to school, I usually just kind of turned on Wild World at certain times to get my present in the sky.
Ooh,
always.
I was actually sort of, because I didn't look much on the internet about it, so I was very much in the dark about all of these sort of things, and it was quite nice to discover them all.
Yeah, I was as well. But then I kind of discovered this forum that was basically just like an online marketplace, and I started selling things.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, a friend introduced me to it, and it kind of ended up with me and him turning into some sort of really big company that just exploited. It was great while it lasted. It was
the shady Animal Crossing trading market,
run by kids and all.
That's what was going on in those back alleys in City Folk. Actually, coming back to the title, what I really didn't like about how they changed the European version from City Folk, which was an alright title, to a horrible title.
Let's go to the city.
It was the most juvenile, childish title you could probably slap on an Animal Crossing game, because Animal Crossing had a sort of childishness to it, but it was at a very moderate level. It was very unoffensive.
I don't know what you're on about. Animal Crossing is perhaps the most established and mature title you could play.
For those of you who weren't there, and that is basically all of you, when we were all watching the E3 stream for Nintendo's conference, we basically had to sit through Matt screaming Animal Crossing over and over and over.
And then bloody Nintendo willed. That was the Animal Crossing I got to see. That stupid fucking minigame.
Bit bitter.
Christ. Yeah, just a little bit. Animal Crossing is somewhere very close to my heart.
So yeah, straight for Parable, Nintendo is the Antichrist.
I'm the only one who actually sees them as the golden boys they are.
I'm going to enjoy any Smash Brothers title they come out. I'm really looking forward to Smash Brothers Kerfuffle, or whatever they're going to call it. And I'm really looking forward to Animal Crossing, if you haven't guessed. But I'm not expecting a lot from them, because both of the last two titles, whereas they were okay in their own right, they were both shifting towards a direction that I could learn to hate very quickly.
I do like Nintendo. I just love-hate.
Yeah, it's very much the thing with Nintendo, isn't it? It's always love-hate.
Yeah.
They come out with enough good titles so that you can never quite forget how much they mean to you. But then at the same time, there's so much shit that they throw in there as well.
Speaking of shit, I think before we end this, I just need to say one more time, both of you play Skyward Sword.
Okay, I don't have a Wii. I actually sold my Wii so I could get a better PC.
Shame, actually.
And my Wii just sits there, crying for attention.
No, I do plan on playing Skyward Sword at some point. It seems like a decent enough title, but it's not something I've played.
It's a Zelda game, come on, you can't say it seems like a decent enough title, it is.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it's about time that we close this thing up.
Yep.
So thank you very much for watching. This is the darkest Parable cast we've done yet.
Yeah.
If you're still here, congratulations. It's going to get better from here on out. And next week, thankfully for everyone here, I'm not going to be with you.
Oh, thank God.
I will still be alive, but I won't be in the cast for 3 weeks. And I believe Greg is picking up my position.
That is.
Yeah, it's Greg from Parable.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't going to...
No, I'm trying to take the piss out of Greg and his accent. But anyway, thanks for listening to the Parable podcast, and we hope that you join us next week.
It's been a grand old time.
Right, yeah, make sure you check it out next week, and there's the download and stuff in the description, etc.
Yeah, favorite, subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, @ParableGames.
Tell all your friends.
Yeah, tell your mums, your dads, your friends, your pets, your cousins, your overlords.
Everyone. Tell everyone.
Yeah. Spread the word.
Yeah. Adios.
Goodbye.
Adios.
You're supposed to say a different language. Sayonara.
Sayonara.